years long, you've been holding on, trying to stay strong. Doctors and paperwork, so much to face, but here you found a safer place. You're not alone, we're standing by your side, helping you through every twist in the ride. With knowledge, care, and a voice that's true, the Disability Digest is here for you. We've walked the path, we've heard the fight, we know the pain that hides from sight. But every story matters, every win is real. Together we rise, together we heal. You're not alone, we're standing by your side, helping you through every twist in the ride. With knowledge, care, and a voice that's true, the Disability Digest is here for you. From the first form to the final claim, through doubts and fears, through hurt and strain, we're in this together, step by step we go. We'll lift you up when the going's slow. You're not alone, we're standing by your side, helping you through every twist in the ride.
All right. Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Brian. Hi, Philip. And welcome.
Good morning.
Welcome. Good morning. Welcome, everyone, to this week's YouTube live event, of course, from the Disability Digest. I'm Nadine. I will be your host for today, and I'm so glad you are here with us. So whether you're joining us live or catching the replay, you're in the right place. If you're getting to keep and maximize your Social Security disability benefits. So that's what we do here. And today's session is going to be a good one. So here's what we are diving into today. Are hidden fees quietly draining your disability check? You might be surprised how many people lose money each month to unnecessary charges, misleading services, or unfortunately could be scam that looks official. So whether you're newly approved or you have been receiving benefits for years, this session will help you protect your income and avoid the red flags that others miss. So leading today's conversation is, of course, no other than Brian Therian, the founder of the Disability Digest. So since 2006, of course, to those who doesn't know, Brian and the rest of the team have helped over 193,000 people get approved for benefits, keep them, and make the most of every dollar. So Brian, of course, thank you so much for being here today. We are excited to hear about what you have to share. And also, how can I forget? I'd like to introduce our special guest, as always, Mr. Philip. So Philip leads his own disability support community and is proudly partnered with the Disability Digest. So he has created a warm and welcoming space where people, going through the disability process can ask questions, get support, and stay informed. So inside his group, members get expert videos, you get regular updates, you get some guidance. And for those who are part of Philip's member, whenever you're ready to take the next step, Philip can help you get connected to the Disability Digest and get your membership, wherein you can speak with an advocate, go through a full disability approval course, and get a support based on your unique base. So again, Philip, we are excited to have you here today as well. Welcome. So
Thank you.
before I pass on the the spotlight to Brian. I just want to let everyone know that you can drop your questions in the live chat. Like, you can do it right now. We are watching it closely, so we'll be answering it later. And also, later in the show, I will be posting a link for those who would like to join us live and ask their questions live via Zoom. So without any further ado, let us all welcome Brian Therian.
Thank you, Nadine. I don't dare say anything after that. I think it's only going to go downhill. Great to be here, everybody. Thanks again for the wonderful introduction, Nadine, Philip. Great to have you with us. So today's event's about hidden fees. A lot of people, they just put their benefits on autopilot. We want to take it off autopilot and give you a few things that you should definitely be aware of. Our focus, as Nadine mentioned, is to help you get your benefits approved, keep them, and maximize them. So I'm going to cover some of the items related to people going through the approval process, and also for those of you that are approved. So these are the biggies. First one is, one of the biggest expenses that people are subject to with disability benefits are disability representation fees. And the fee now, the maximum amount of fee is $9,200 if you're going through the approval process. There's really no cap on it if you're subject to a continuing disability review and it doesn't go well and you need to hire somebody. It's actually hard to find people that do that work. And so there isn't a lot of, like, the supply and demand is out of whack, so there's no cap on it. So I want to talk about that one first, and then I'm going to move on to some of the fees that are associated with those of you that are approved. So here at the Disability Digest, I am a big proponent that if you're capable of managing your own case, you shouldn't have to pay any legal fees. That's why the Disability Digest has a comprehensive disability approval course. There's no charge for it. You speak with an advocate, you go through a strategy and how to get approved. They knock out any red flags, hopefully, and you get enrolled into the course. And thousands of people have gone through and used the course for free. So that's good. The other side of it is some people are not able to do that or don't want to. But the course is still an effective way for you to knock down that legal fee. Now, a lot of people get sticker shock. $9,200 is a lot of money. It was like 4 years ago, it was $6,000. But that's only if your case goes the distance and it's full fee. Now, if you're just getting started, most of you maybe been out of work, 8 or 10 months at most. That's usually when we see people at the high end. So if you get approved in your first application and you use a representative, you won't pay the full fee because it hasn't gone the distance. So you take a look at your check, it's got to be, I think it's 28,000 and something in back benefits. So here's my first cost saving tip. You ready? Win early. Whether you do it on your own or whether you use a representative. Now we had Rudy that came in. Rudy was here like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
Rudy's a great example. Rudy used a representative and he won early, and he paid a minimal amount in representation fees. For him, it was truly worth it. But where it gets expensive is if you guess. You guess in the beginning, you don't get it right, you're destined for a long haul and you're going to pay the full fee. I hope you're understanding what I'm attempting to communicate here. It doesn't matter whether you do it on your own or you use a representative. You want to do it right, you want to apply at a right period of time. So that you can keep that fee down low, right? So that's number one. Number two, when you get approved for your disability benefits, you become Medicare eligible. It's 24 months after the onset date, after the date that you were able to prove that you could not work because of your sickness or an injury, right? So Medicare has charges associated with it, and most people don't even know that they're Medicare eligible. So I'm going to give you the basics. You have Medicare Part A that you're automatically eligible for, and that covers your hospital visits. And there's Medicare Part B. It's not free. $185 a month. That's what you use when you go see doctors. Doctors are different than the hospitals. So the $185 a month is $2,220 a year. And many people out there go through that process, and they're not aware that if their disability check as a common benchmark is below $1,700 a month, that you can have that paid for by the state. Now we're sliding into this big, beautiful time frame now where there's going to be some turbulence there, but that hasn't kicked in yet for this. So what happens is people go, we meet people here as members that have been paying for this for years, and they don't know because they haven't applied. And it's not like you get a knock on your door one day and it's somebody in a Social Security Medicare hat that says, oh, by the way, we'd like to pay for your Part B. It doesn't happen. So one of the reasons why you want to have benefit review done annually, ideally by somebody that is in tune with what's going on, so they can help you knock out these things. So Medicare Part B is another one that really catches people. Now, there's another slight nuance to this. You may not qualify based on your income level to drop your Medicare Part B, but there are some people in some states where you can have your Medicare Part B paid for through what's called a Medicare Part B buyback. Now, how this works is companies are aggressive enough to get you into their plan where they will actually pay your Medicare Part B premium. In some states like Texas, Florida, you'll see where they'll pay the whole thing just to have you in that plan. Now, probably wondering, well, what's the catch? There is a catch, in my opinion. These plans have that benefit in there, but they're diluted in other areas, such as the care. So if you have a condition that is pretty stable and doesn't require a lot of doctoring, like maybe you have a physical limitation and you've been to pain therapy, you're in a stable spot where you're seeing your primary care 2 times a year, and that's pretty much it, then that could be a consideration for you as another way to drop that, hidden fee. So it's another thing that you could learn here from the Disability Digest. So those are some Medicare related ones that can help you with the fees. I'm doing this in part because we're in a very interesting time this year with what is going on with the Medicare industry. And a lot of the companies have been called out, like investigated, whistleblowing. They've had techniques and practices that have been going on that are not like favorable to the consumer. So I recently posted on our YouTube channel the investigation that the Wall Street Journal did. So what that means is this. When you see plan changes in October, those that come out, I hope you read your notice of change. Be prepared to do a review because there could be, I fully expect there will be radical changes to some of these Medicare Advantage plans. And keep in mind, they only last for 1 year, and then they have the right to change them. But most people don't know this, and only 30% review their actual benefits annually. So those are some of the major ones. I want to roll this forward with one last point. There's different benefits that are like community-based. And for me to say that, what I just shared with you exists everywhere, not everywhere. There's some Medicare plans are different in different areas. But one of the things I encourage you to do is to research your area for things that may be of help to you. And you can do this simply by contacting your Center for Independent Living and creating a relationship with them. Maybe you're paying for your cell phone. There's a local program where you don't need to. Maybe you're in need of, in the Northeast, they have fuel assistance. I don't know if they have anything for utility offsets in the South. I expect they do. But I know there's programs here in this area where I live that people can get access to. So I would make sure that you're in tune with all the things that you are qualified for. And the Centers for Independent Living is a great way to do that. And if you don't know your Center for Independent Living, you can contact us here at the Disability Digest as part of your membership support. We can get you the directions and how you can get tuned in. But so to recap, we talked about the fees. You want to make sure that you do the very best you can to win quick, regardless if you're representing yourself or using a representative. We can help you do that here at the Disability Digest with our disability approval course. Then you want to be conscious about that $2,200 a year in Medicare Part B premiums. Give you a couple of different ideas on how you can drop that expense, and then look locally for what other items may be available to you. And this isn't expense related, but if you've been here before and listened to me rant about the values of supplementing your income, I think you should definitely check that out as well. All right, so drop us a note in the comments if you've got something that is a tip like in this area, like expense related, or listen, I found this benefit and I'm in Des Moines, Iowa, and I no longer have to pay this. Let's hear it, because it's collective learning here. That's how we make this all work, right? Okay, thanks for listening. Let's move on to some Q&A, Nadine.
Yeah, I'll let Philip go first for the questions from his group.
All right.
Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Give me a second here. I wasn't doing my job.
You're testing us to see if we can figure out the question without hearing it. I know.
Well, something's gone haywire here. Nadine, if you got
Yeah.
something real quick,
Sure.
go
So,
ahead.
so while Philip is pulling that up, I got a few questions here, Brian. Someone asked if it's okay to take a vacation and travel. Is it going to affect or hurt the case if they're still like applying for disability income? How might it affect their application?
Right, right. That's a really good question. I expect there's a lot of people like this time of year, although I heard travel is down, but still. So here's the thing to think about. When you are trying to get your benefits or on your benefits, what your approval criteria is your ability not to work. So when you look at travel, if your travel that you're doing is exemplifying that you can work, which this is an example. Let's say you want to do a volunteer mission-driven project where you're going to go to Peru and you're going to build huts for the less fortunate, and that's what you're going to be doing. Well, okay, if you're that is going to exemplify that you could do something that may conflict with the disability approval. If you are going to go to Stowe, Vermont, because you're a big Sound of Music fan and you just have this vision of sitting out there at the Von Trapp Lodge and looking out over the Green Mountains and sipping green tea, that's fine. So just be conscious of what you're doing during that time. In my opinion, you should travel. It doesn't exemplify that you can work, right? Now, one other thing I'll just layer on this is if you're leaving the US, if you're going through the disability approval process, you want to make sure that you can keep your communication tight. If you are potentially coming up for a hearing, there is certain criteria where they want to have you present, like feet on the soil here in the US, to do your hearing. If you're approved and you're thinking of traveling outside the US for an extended period of time, like going to the wonderful country of the Philippines, right? and you want to go there or somewhere else, then your approval criteria allows you to go somewhere for 6 months. But beyond 6 months, Social Security has the ability to turn your benefits off. Actually, left would be off. Some things to consider. It's a good question.
So, got another
All right,
question
all right.
here. Oh, are you good, Philip? I can let you
I'm
go
ready
next.
now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. First question from Unanimous or Anonymous. They spelt it wrong.
I like
Said I
them.
was unanimous, yeah. Says I received notice about a form entitled Activities of Daily Living Questionnaire. I believe it is being mailed to me. Could you please explain what this is and what it's used for?
Yep. Going through the disability approval process, after somebody submits their information to Social Security and applies, this is where a lot of people get hung up. They're like, oh, I submitted my application, I'm all done. Well, actually, no, you're not. You got a lot of work to do if you want to do it right. And this is one of the things. So this is an activities of daily living. It's form SSA 3373. And it's going to ask you questions about what you can do on a daily basis, like cooking, cleaning, paying bills, hobbies, information like that. The intent is Social Security wants to get an understanding of what you're not able to do and your limitations. So the thing with these is they're not a questionnaire, or, well, I guess they are, but what I'm attempting to communicate is how important these are and understanding how to correctly answer these, because they are communicating to Social Security your limitations. In addition to that, if you don't get it right and get approved at the initial application, the information that you put on these forms will be revisited by the judge when you go to court. Here's how you get them right. I know that wasn't part of the question you just asked that. At the Disability Digest, when you join us as a member, indicate that you're going through the approval process. Your membership will drive you into having a conversation with an advocate. They'll get a better understanding of your situation. They will put you into the appropriate segment of the disability approval course, which could be for this individual, applied and waiting for a decision. And they'll direct you to section, that would be section 1C, I believe it is, of the disability approval course. In there, there's a video with an industry expert that walks you through question by question, what the question is, what it means, and how to answer it. So then you have the answer. So that's how you can get that done, and no charge for your membership, no charge for the advocate speaking. It's all part of your membership to come on in here and do that. So good question.
All right, next one comes from Zane. And Zane says, I used to call to check the status of my case, and it would say that DDS was processing the medical portion of the claim. But today, when I called, it said that a decision hasn't been made on my claim. What could this mean?
I really don't know. I mean, if they've done the medical part of it,
Yes.
it's not clear to me where they're at. I was waiting for that question to say, now we're checking the non-medical. If that was it, then they're done the medical and they're just making sure that you worked enough. Based on the information in that question, it's not clear to me exactly where it's at, other than they're done the medical.
Okay. Kathy asks, can you explain what step 3 means? The status changed today shortly after I spoke with someone yesterday about the work history report form I received.
Yeah, Here's another one. You have good questions today. I am not in tune with if it's at step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what they're doing at each one of those. I don't know if that information exists out there, but if it does, I haven't been in tune to it. I guess I should look into that. Like, what does it mean if it's at step 1, 2, 3, 4? I guess what I'd look at it another way. If you have been for an independent medical exam from Social Security, that is typically the last step in the initial application. It doesn't mean that you can't submit evidence, and if you haven't done all the things in the disability approval course that you're supposed to do, like getting the doctor's support forms filled out, getting third-party evidence, all of this can still be added and should be added. But from a Social Security perspective, that's the last major step that they do before, unfortunately, they sit on your application for a little while longer and then make a decision.
All right, this next one's going to be a long one. So if you and Nadine want to go get a cup of coffee, I'll try to get through this as quick as I can.
I'm on water right now.
I got
Okay.
my coffee here.
All right. All right. Says just had cubital tunnel transposition on my left arm 2 months ago, and the same surgery done on my right arm today. I have numbness and tingling in both feet and hands, with a recent MRI showing 2 white matter lesions on frontal lobe of brain. Neurologist thinks it might be MS, but not 100% sure at the moment. I also have degenerative disc disease and bulging disc in my back and neck, slight scoliosis, and a crap load of more problems. I applied for SSDI in 2023, but was denied since they only had the beginning stages of my back problems. Since then, I have not worked, but did graduate in advanced aesthesian and went back to college to become a nurse but my symptoms throughout my body have gotten worse, increasingly worse. Therefore, I put in a medical leave and was approved. I'm 28. I know I'm young. I have all 40 work credits. Reapplied for SSDI on 6/13 of 25 on phone interview, and the phone interview 7/1 of 25. Now I'm on step 3 of 5 in Ohio. Did not appeal first application. I know I should have, but when you're young and dumb, stuff happens. Below is a list of other problems through the years. All doctor's appointments were or are through the same company, hopefully making it easier for Social Security to make a decision. My question is, do you think I have a chance of getting approved? Should this be enough info to help my case? End of quote.
That was a good question. All right. I have my opinion on it. Anybody else want to chime in before I offer my insight?
What about you, Nadine? You got any?
Yeah, so I know she mentioned all of those conditions and diagnoses, but we'd still go with what we always tell everyone, that what we wanted to communicate to SSA is your limitations. Like, how are these conditions affecting your daily function that prevents you from working? So, yeah.
Yeah.
So
In all of those diagnoses and all of her information, does she have any additional documentation from her doctors, like RFCs,
yep,
letters?
yep,
uh, All of that will certainly help to show that her condition is debilitating enough.
all right.
Yeah.
So that's excellent input. I definitely echo that. I feel that one of the things I hear in situations like this is somebody doesn't understand what it is that they need to prove. Because I don't know how many conditions were in there. It's like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But it's not the condition, as Nadine said, it's the limitation. So how we can help you here to figure that out and to answer your question is you can listen to a whole bunch of our YouTube videos, but I suggest that you join us as a member, get into the disability approval course. In section 1 of the disability approval course, there is 2 parts in there that would be helpful for you. One is how to communicate that you qualify in 2 sentences or less, which will help you take all of those diagnoses that you have and craft a statement so that it communicates why you can't work because of your diagnoses, conditions, and treatment. That's number 1. Number 2 is, what is number 2? That's the primary one. Number 2 is, I don't know where you're at in the process and what you're doing, but you do need to understand that what you're attempting to communicate is going to be rock solid to convince Social Security that you cannot work. Now, there's other sections in the disability approval course that, like Philip mentioned, doctor support forms, third party support forms. My message to anybody under 50 is you have absolutely positively got to top shelf your application if you want to get approved. Social Security has atrocious rates for approval. So that's my 2 cents. Keep in mind this, there's 1.9 million people that apply every year. 687,000 get their benefits. That's a 35% overall approval rate. Here at the Disability Digest, those that we directly work with, it's like 3 times that. Why is that? Because of what I just shared with you, right? And you do this on your own with the course, but you got to do it right.
Yeah. Okay, Nadine, that was it.
All right. Thank you so much, Philip. So everyone, I'm now posting the link to those of you who would like to ask your questions live. I know, some people would like to join us here so that you would be able to elaborate what your questions are. So feel free to join. I just sent the link. So while we wait for someone to join us, Brian, I do have a couple of questions here for you.
Okay.
Okay. So first one is from someone anonymous. Hey, question please, if you don't mind. The spending bill just passed. Will my United Healthcare dual complete be cut? I get $272 a month for groceries and utilities and medicines, OTC and medical supplies, etc. Will that be cut? When will this go into effect? I'm stressing about this. It's through my SSDI. I also have Medicare and Medicaid.
Right. Really good question. And right now, from the information that I see, I don't know. And it goes back to a point that I mentioned earlier. Medicare Advantage plans, whether they're a regular Medicare Advantage plan or a dual eligible plan, are good until the end of the September. Well, actually good till the end of the year. But you'll find out through your notice of change if your benefits are going to hold in that plan or not. And you get this like late September, early October. And my advice to this individual and others is mark your calendars. We have a series of events planned to help you understand how to review your benefits from your notice of change, what options are going to be available for you, like how to look and search Medicare.gov, and all that. So we'll teach you how to do it. You do it all on your own. We do that because yes, we do benefit reviews internally, but we have the capacity only to do so many, and we just can't accommodate everybody. Also, I just received confirmation that industry expert Mark Snehorovich is going to be joining us on October 1st. He is a very influential, experienced individual in the Medicare space that will give you some nuances on what I just explained. So, oh, you know what I need to do, Nadine, is make you,
Co-host.
yeah. Okay. Great.
Take a look at the people. Okay, so we have Rudy joining us today. He has a question earlier. Let me go ahead and check that first so that I can read it to you before I let him in. So he said, hi everybody, since I just got approved and I'm gonna be turning 65 in December, I don't really have to worry too much about CDRs because I'll be 67 in 2 years after that. Is that right? Oh, he left the room. So maybe you can just answer that, Brian.
Yeah, when you reach full retirement age, you become a regular Social Security recipient, which means the being under the microscope for reviews, that goes away. Also, the earning restrictions that you have go away. You're just the Social Security recipient.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that. So I'm gonna let Sheena Stevens in. She has a question about CDR as well. Um, letting her in now. Hi, Sheena.
Hi, Sheena.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good.
We're
Even
all
better
good.
now that you're here.
Thank you so much. I was elated to when you all told me you're looking for an ambassador. I would love to work for your company. I'm on Social Security disability now, but my holdup is last week I received my first disability continued review in the mail, and on Monday, with my therapist's help, I filled it out and mailed it off.
Okay.
So, so I'm just waiting to get reviewed by them. How long should I wait afterwards to finish the application?
Uh, it's not clear to me, Sheena, why you would wait because of your disability review. Am I missing something? I'm new here, so, maybe.
No, no, I was wondering, will me finishing the application with you all and getting the BP thing mess up my review?
No.
No?
No, I don't know why it would. You're not working, there isn't any earning, you're just using resources that are out there. So, no, I mean, I'll share this with you from a working perspective, and maybe this will set you at ease. We've had disability recipients working here at the Disability Digest since we started. And yes, people get reviewed, but there hasn't been one person that's lost their benefits. It's just, and you're not even working.
No,
So,
sir.
yeah. Yeah. And I thank you for your interest in coming here. We are definitely looking for disability recipients that want to have some fun, make some
Please.
money, and make a difference. So, yeah.
I'm bilingual too.
What's your
So I don't
other
know if that
language?
helps. It's Spanish.
Oh, good. Good.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That would
So,
be, I'm still working on English. So good for you.
but I have experience in secretarial work and in retail over 10 years.
Okay.
So I would love the opportunity when I submit my application today. I would love for the opportunity to be considered.
Yep, yep. You, in your application, you can say that you joined this event and you spoke with us. And I like it. I don't know if anybody else can feel that, but I feel the energy. You feel
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Most certainly.
Yep.
Okay, tell what tell them I joined what?
Just say you joined the live event and yeah, so, and you were on, just put in today's date. You spoke with Nadine, Philip, um, and I forget my name, but you can say you spoke with me. Yeah, just put it in there. Yep.
Okay, with Nadine Phillips. I've
Yep.
already completed the first step. Now I think it's the interview. There's step 2 now. I'm about to do.
Yep. Have you submitted a video?
No, sir, I'm about to.
Okay, good. Well, this could be a compliment to your video. Yeah.
So in the video, say that I've met with Nadine Phillips.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I mean, we're just, as you can tell, a lot of the work that we do to connect and communicate to our audience is in environments like this. We just want to make sure people are comfortable, like you fully appear to be. So,
Oh, cool. So when the step 2 in the video just mentioned I was on the live event and just
Yeah.
explain more about me myself. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I have a few questions for you, if I could.
Yes, sir.
So when were you approved for your disability benefits?
I think at 23
23? Okay.
or 24. I want to say 23. December
23.
23.
So pretty recently. This is
Yes, sir.
optional, but I have a question for you. Based on your experience, I don't know anything about, if you remember how long you've been here, or any of that. But do you have any advice for people that are going through the process now and struggling? I mentioned the gap, 1.9 people try, 687,000 get it. Is there like one nugget of information that could help somebody that's struggling, going through the process? Any advice?
With each denial, I received 5 denials, but with each one, I had to be positive and not give up
Love it.
because each one got me closer to the approval.
I
So
like
I
that
would just say,
attitude.
yeah. So I would just say, don't give up. Keep trying.
Keep trying. Keep trying. That's good. Paid off for you, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Now my husband's trying to apply for disability because he broke his back on the job a few years
Mm.
ago.
Listen, how did he do it? Like, what was his profession?
He was a cabinet maker. He was in construction, a cabinet maker, professional cabinet maker. And he was helping some other guys lift a stone table. But I guess they didn't do their share and it was all on him. So he severed his spine, his back, and that's where they found osteoporosis.
Interesting. I don't know if you've heard of this. Philip was a cabinet maker, Sheena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I can do this, you can do this, Sheena.
Okay, great.
yeah.
I would love to. Like I said, I'm ready. I'm so excited to do it. Just
You-
please remember my name.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can have my job.
No, thank you.
So I have something for you, Sheena, and for everybody out there. I just heard about this yesterday. There is a channel on YouTube called The Wheelchair Dad. And this individual was in construction, contracting. And he fell off a roof. He had fallen off a roof. This would be his 3rd time. So he and his wife created this really powerful channel that documents like what he goes through, what he's doing now. So perhaps some inspiration for your husband, Sheena, and others that are out there. Go check him out. Yep.
Wheelchair Dad
Wheelchair Dad.
on
Yep.
YouTube.
On YouTube. I think they have a website that may have the same URL, but I found them on YouTube. And there was a really good interview on the Ed Milet podcast, which is available Spotify, wherever. Actually, it's also available on YouTube.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you so much. I will finish the application today.
All right. Look forward to it.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for
Thank you so much,
joining.
Sheena.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sheena.
Have a wonderful day.
All right.
You
All
too.
right.
Bye bye.
Okay. So, Brian, we have Rudy in the waiting room. I think he has a follow-up question to the
Sure.
CDR. Okay.
Sure.
All
Would
right.
this be the same Rudy from
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago?
Yes. Hi, Rudy.
Hey, Rudy, welcome back. He's on mute.
Let me ask him to unmute. All right, while we wait for Rudy to unmute himself, I do a couple of questions here, Brian.
Sure.
From Mary Vanderpool, she's asking, does Tennessee have help to pay that $185? What is the limit?
Every state has the Extra Help program, and your name is familiar, Mary. I believe you're a member here, or there's some other Mary by the same last name. So yes, they do. And there's an application form for Extra Help that you can fill out, send in. We have it here at the Disability Digest. So if you are the member that I'm thinking of, just contact us, or if you're working with an advocate, ask them. So yes, and that's how we can help you with it.
So another oh, I think Rudy is here. Hi, Rudy.
Hi, how you doing?
Good morning,
All
Rudy.
good.
Did you
Welcome
guys
back.
Yeah, I kind of made a mistake there. I lost you there for a second, but I'm back. But the question I had for you was, in those 2 years that I'm waiting before I turn 67, what I was asking, do I got to worry about those CDRs in between those 2 years?
I'm going to go with, I believe Attorney James Mitchell Brown was here and you asked that question, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, so his answer was a big hell no. Because of your
Okay.
age, you should be fine. And regardless, I just encourage people that are concerned about CDRs is to control the controllables. Doctors document, report, review your medical records, and you're taking care of the things. But they're going to invest their money, Rudy, in somebody that is typically under 50. Unfortunately, a lot of people that have been approved for brain health, mental health conditions that possibly have a chance for recovery. So again, just reinforcing Attorney Brown's position on that question is you should be fine.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining.
No problem.
Thank you so much, Rudy. So, Brian, we have a question here from Russell Dixon. Respiratory meds keep me out of the hospital. What plan should I get? Almost 2 years for me to qualify for Medicare. I think the best thing to do is to fill out the benefit review form so that someone from our benefit review experts here at the Disability Digest will get in touch with you and help you figure out what plan to apply
Right.
for. Yep.
Great answer. I want to share one thing. When you think about your healthcare coverage, it's different based on zip codes. Like I know, Philip, you worked with somebody recently. The individual just moved a little ways to another zip code.
Yeah.
And the plan, although it's just a few miles, but it's in another zip code, the plan's not available. So there's a lot of variables, your location, your zip code, your diagnoses, your check amount. And so there isn't a one size fits all. Wish there was, but there isn't.
All right. Another question here from Mirand. I was approved for SSI December 2024. I received a letter that scheduled me for a disability phone appointment. The letter said to have my doctor's information. What should I expect?
I'm not sure I'm following this. Approved for SSI,
December 2024.
has an interview. Is this a Social Security disability applicant as well, or do we know?
We don't know, but she just said she has a scheduled phone appointment for disability. So I assume she's applying for
Okay,
SSDI. Yeah.
all right. It sounds, that could be it. Let's go with that. All right.
hmm
So you have a phone interview that is going to ask you information for your application, and you can search Social Security Disability Application Checklist online, or if you're a member and you're in our disability approval course, it will show you exactly what you will need. They're going to ask you the questions like your doctors and your medication and your work history, and they're going to enter that into your disability application. And they may ask you some other questions, like open-ended questions, like why you're applying and not able to work. And those are the ones you need to really be careful about. The ones that are date-related, addresses and all that, they're not going to influence your Social Security disability application through interpretation, but the questions that they ask may. So that's what that is for. What's the date on that again, Nadine?
2024. Oh,
So
December 2024.
the date
Oh,
of
the appointment, she didn't say.
Oh, all right. Well, again, the course has the information that will help you prepare, have the right information, be able to articulate, why you qualify in 2 sentences or less, understand what you need to prove, those types of things. So join us as a member, get into the course, get the information you need, get prepared for that. If you're going to continue to do it on your own, just keep using the course in the different segments.
All right. I hope that helps. Before we move on to the next questions, I just want to read this shout out here from Luana. She said, "Good afternoon, Brian, Philip, and Nadine. Thank you for keeping me informed about all the new information concerning SSDI changes. This information is priceless." You're welcome. All right, another question from Michelle. She said, "Hello, how many months in advance will SSA send out notification of my CDR for SSDI? I'm due and in December of this year."
I am not able to report any consistency with the reviews. They're not sent on time. You may have that December deadline. Maybe you'll get it this year, or maybe, it'll be next year. And others that are out there that are approved that are subject to these reviews, if you have any insight that you can type in the comments, like again, this collective learning process, did you get your review on time? Most don't. Yeah, so you have to keep in, there's a lot of things going on at Social Security. They're down about 7,000 people got fired, 3,000 people left, puts them down to like 50,000 workers, which is still 50,000 people, but the workflow is being managed by less people. I don't feel they've caught up with technology. So these reviews are maybe happening, maybe not happening. In addition to that, they've just invested $52 million more to have more reviews done. I don't know who's going to do them, but so there's a lot of uncertainty. That's what I'm attempting to communicate to you.
Thanks for that information, Brian. So we have one last question here from Aceman. Actually, there's two parts of his question. The first one, what is SSA 827 form, and should I be worried about it? And then the second one, he said, I had to change my healthcare coverage. So I also had to change all my primary care doctors for my conditions. How will it affect my chances for SSTI?
Good question. So the 827 form is typically part of the initial application process, which is standard. And it's, I'm reading the form on another screen here, authorization to disclose information to the Social Security Administration. It's a standard form. I have no concern about it, really. It's not like it's the adult living form. It's not like a CDR or you're going for a medical review. It's just your permission is being granted to Social Security. So that's one. Hit me with the second part of that question again.
Yeah, sure. So the second part of the question is he changed his healthcare coverage, so he had to change all of his doctors, and he's wondering if it would affect his chances of getting approved through SSDI.
Well, if you are properly doctoring, then no. What I mean by properly doctoring is you've followed the information that we provide about journaling, documenting your limitations, bringing them to the doctor, making sure that the doctor gets those into your medical records. And you've did that with your prior doctor, and you're doing that with this doctor, then I see no problem, right? If there's a disconnect between your old doctor and new doctor about your conditions, the severity, and the limitations, that's something that you definitely need to work on and clean up, because it could create some confusion with Social Security. They're looking for consistent treatment of your conditions and the limitations associated with them. So if there was a hiccup, which I don't know, because I hadn't seen your medical records, then that's something you need to patch up. So hope that answers your question.
Right. That's the last question that we have. But by the way, Brian, Michelle here said that she missed the answer to her question due to an ad that came up while she was watching our video. Oh, she's here. She'd like to join us live. Can I let her in?
Come on in.
All right. Hi, Michelle.
Hello,
Hi, how
Michelle.
are you?
All good. How about you?
Good. I'm doing great. Some reason the ads keep cutting in, and then I have to go out and retouch you all's live stream and start all over. But I came back in and heard Brian say something about staffing at Social Security Administration is going through some things or something to that effect.
Thank you for letting me know about the ads. I mean, that does fund our work, but I'm going to look into having those removed from the live event. I'm making a note.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, the staffing, the funding, is there a specific question, or did I miss it, Michelle?
Well, no, you addressed it. I just missed part of your answer, and I forgot to include that I am a 100% disabled veteran, permanent and total. So I'm wondering how, I know I still probably have to go through a review. So I'm just wondering when they're going to send it, because time is getting close. And how does that, me being a veteran, affect that?
Well, they might not review you. I mean, it could. Let me ask you this. In your award letter, is that where you got the information that there's a specific time frame?
Yes.
Yeah. And if you don't mind my asking, are you over the age of 60?
No, unfortunately, I won't turn 60 for another 4 years. Next month is my birthday.
Well, don't rush it, and happy early birthday.
Thank you, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So, what is the significance behind 60?
Well, if you look at it this way, they're fishing for money. And the
Okay.
Social Security Administration, they spend $11 on benefit. No, I have that backwards. They spend $1
Mm-hmm.
on benefit reviews, they get 11 back by kicking people off.
Oh,
So their
wow.
highest probability of finding people
Mm-hmm.
is not those that are of advanced age. Thus, and even if they do kick you off at age 62 or 3, then you could take your early Social Security. So they're not saving money there.
Okay.
That drives it to the lower, and they look at certain conditions.
Right.
And as I mentioned to Rudy, the
Mm-hmm.
best thing that everybody can do, which you should be doing anyway, is just the basics of doctoring, documenting your conditions.
Okay.
Are you a member here?
Well, I signed up to be, so I'm not for sure what my membership status is. I signed up quite some time ago.
Okay, okay. Um, well, I'll share this with you, which I was going to wrap the program up with covering this anyway, is here at the Disability Digest, we offer to our members
Okay.
a benefit protection program.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to share my screen, which is not going to teach you a lot, but it's kind of it's something to show.
Okay.
So how the benefit protection program works is, as a member, you have the ability to have your benefits reviewed by one of our benefit experts. And they'll
Okay.
review your current setup, like what you're on, your doctors, your medications, the benefit plan, what your
Mm-hmm.
objective is. And if you're fine, they'll just say you're fine. But if they find an option for you to consider, they'll present it to you. And
Okay.
it could be that you stay with the same company, the same doctors, you just move into a different plan. There's all kinds of different variables. But if you move into a plan that is managed by us as
Mm-hmm.
your insurance agent here, and there's several here that are insurance agents, it's not going to cost you anything to move from one plan to another. It'll
Okay.
cost you, you don't. But if you do, then you are eligible to be in our benefit protection program. And the reason for that is this. The benefit protection program, as your insurance agent, we get paid to manage your Medicare benefits. And so we want to keep you in pay status. So the benefit protection plan is a resource for you that when you get your review, we provide you with the directions to fill out the forms, whether it's short or long.
Okay.
We'll review those forms for you to make sure, yep, you did it right, or no, you didn't, you need to do it again. And if you send in your review information and it doesn't go so good and you get denied, then our legal team will support you and filing an appeal. If it has to go to court, we'll continue to represent you. Now, there's no cost for the benefit protection program for you. Even if you go to court,
Okay.
we cover the first $500 in legal costs, which is typically enough. So it's just simply reviewing the benefits. If there's an option that you can enroll in, you get this extra layer of support. Now, if you get, or somebody else, unfortunately, out there gets a review and you do need to get legal support, one, it's hard to find. And two, it could cost you equivalent to the full fee to get approved or more.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, as I explained, we don't charge that. So that may be something for you to consider.
Okay. Can I ask a quick question? How do I go in the system or in you all system to verify that that I am a standing member?
So if you can, if you know how to use the chat feature, Michelle, in this Zoom room here,
Mm-hmm.
you can just enter your email address that you used associated with your membership, and we'll look it up for you. That's option one.
Okay, it's coming through right now.
Yep, and Nadine will look that up for you.
There it goes.
There it is. Oh, you're good at this. Yeah.
I'm pretty nifty.
Yeah. And how long have you been on your benefits, receiving your benefits again?
I was approved just days before Thanksgiving of this of November of 2022.
Okay. Okay. November of 22. I expect that made for a nice Thanksgiving celebration.
It really did. I think the neighbors heard me scream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, now I have a question for you. Maybe we can help some others scream because a lot of people are, they're challenged getting through, they're intimidated.
It really is.
Yeah, do you have a piece of advice that you could be willing to share with others out there? Maybe help them stay in the game or do it right or be
Yeah.
able to
Well,
scream like you
well,
do.
I'll compare it to going through the disability process of being a veteran, trying to get approved that way. It's a challenge, yes, and I would say stay in there. Don't give up. If you can get legal help to back you up, do
Mhm,
so because it's very hard to go at it on your own. But I would
mhm,
say don't give up because my situation was I was denied 2 times. The third time was my charm. So hang in there. Don't give up and use legal help or use the disability digest personnel. That's
mhm,
what these people are out here for, to
mhm,
help us.
mhm.
So I say like Sheena said, don't give up.
Right. Now I have one more question for you on that. Were you 100% P&T when you went through the disability approval process?
Yes.
I find that I'll just be conservative with my wording here, annoying.
Okay. Why? I mean, particularly why?
Well, okay, because um, it is so difficult to get veterans with a high rating approved for disability benefits.
Hmm.
And I know why. It's the massive amount of medical information, a lot of confusing, and a lot of people at Social Security don't believe that you should be entitled to double dip and all that stuff. But still, these are benefits that you've worked for, you've paid for, and the degree of complexity, um, it's the same for everybody else, but you
Hmm.
already are going into this with a proven disability rating. And I understand it's different and it's by conditions and all that. So,
I actually, not to cut you off, but I actually just made my 100% months before I got approved.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, great advice. I thank you for sharing it. And if a veteran is out there listening, going through the process or starting the process, I hope they tune into the advice that you gave. That's
Okay, I hope so too,
yeah,
because we're all in this together.
right on, right
All
on.
right. Thank you for all you do. And the team, thank you for coming on, and we appreciate your help.
Yeah, we
Thank you.
appreciate you
Thank
and
you for your
Nadine.
service.
Nadine
Thank
will
you.
get with you
Yep.
on your benefits. Okay.
Okay, I look forward to hearing from you.
All
Y'all
right.
have a great day.
All right, Michelle.
Bye-bye,
Take
Michelle.
care. Bye bye.
All right. Brian, can you take one more quick question before we wrap up?
Let's vote. Okay.
All right. So the question is getting permanent residency in another country allowed when you're on SSDI as long as I continue my doctor's appointments?
Hmm. Good question. I don't recall the residency part. Let me think this through. They expect you to be in the US. I believe the deal is you need to be a US resident and can leave the country for up to 6 months as a disability recipient. I am 94% certain that's what it is. If you want to send that question in to support at the Disability Digest, we can tighten it up for you. But another way to look at it is this. Let's say you had a home in Mexico and you had a home in the US and your home in Mexico was your primary. And you were declaring that as your primary residence. That would satisfy that. You still have two homes. So it's the residency part of it.
Okay. Yeah, so those are all the questions from me.
Great. Well, this has been fun today. I thank you for the introduction. Once again, Nadine, Philip, for
Of
your great
course.
questions. If you're not a member of Philip's group out there, going through the approval process, want some support from others, then jump in Philip's group. If you're in Philip's group and you're just in the group and you're looking to get like top shelf support and the how-to piece, then that's where the Disability Digest can partner with you. So we hope you enjoyed the show today. We're here Wednesdays. Our objective
Yeah.
is to be a trusted source for you to help you learn, connect with others, get your questions answered in these little sound bites. But again, it's not the complete picture. The best way we can help you is if we can deliver a customized approach to your benefit needs. And we do that by having you join us as a member, completing the profile, getting in, and we can understand if you're trying to get approved, just got approved, been approved for years, what your concerns are and what you want to establish. Then we can get you connected with the right people, right resources to help you either get them, keep them, or maximize them. So that's our show for today. All right.
All right.
Okay, everybody. Thanks again. We'll be back next week with an
See you
all
next week.
See
new
y'all next week.
show. Make it a great day. Thanks.